Hello there. um, I'm gonna review Richard Fain's channel. I really like his videos, so I'm going to review it. And right now I'm eating spaghettios with a piece of bread. So yeah.
But I do have a lot of new subscribers, so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity for me to do a video outlining my 5 sources of income. So
Mm-hmm.
let's dive into it. Now, the reason I created these 5 different streams of income is so that I could have more time, more choices, and more freedom in
Yeah,
my life.
I agree.
When I was working my corporate job for 25 years, I was making a good 6-figure income, but I was trading time for money. And I
Mm-hmm.
had very little time to do anything else other than work. So 20 years ago, I started putting down the framework, putting together a blueprint that would put me on a path to be able to walk away from that 6-figure corporate job and do my own thing. And that's where these 5 streams of income come into play. Now, the first stream of income is real estate. And
Okay, just so I want to mention here, most of the people making like average salary, I don't know, 50,000 or something, they probably are not making as much as him. There are people who work at freaking like Starbucks or something like that, and there's no way they can do what he does. So you just have to keep into consideration that it will take a long time before you're on his level, especially if you're not, especially if you don't have a six-figure corporate job. Um, so I just want to mention that. So it's not that I don't want to sound negative, but it's not that easy if you don't have a job he had.
started investing in real estate more than 25 years ago. I bought my first home. It was a $68,000 purchase, and I put three.
Another thing, the housing market is out of control, especially if you live in a big city. Um, and he has an advantage of like 30 years because the housing market wasn't so high. So that's another advantage he had.
3.5% down, and I moved into that house, and that was my first real estate purchase. And that started my real estate investing additional stream of income. So I lived in that house for 2 years, and then I pulled the equity out of.
It's very smart because if you live in your house for 2 years, you don't pay a capital gains tax because you lived in it. If you would just buy it and sell it, you would have to pay taxes. So, and then it's very smart what he's doing. He probably bought a fixer upper and fixed it in these 2 years and sold it and pulled the equity out of it, which is that's the way to go.
Of that house, and I bought my second home. I moved into the second home. I put a tenant into the first home, and I duplicated that process for 3 more houses.
That's very impressive that he can do that. The only thing you have to do, you have to be careful not to over leverage yourself because if you do that too many times, you might not be able to pay the bills. So you have to be careful, especially if you're doing this as a new person. Be very careful because over leveraging can it's not good. So, but I'm impressed. That's a lot of work and it takes a lot of knowledge to do that.
And that seed money and the appreciation in value of those 3 houses allowed me to continue investing in single family real estate.
Another comment. Nothing against him, but I think he is a boomer. And the economy went up like crazy for like the last like while he was doing all of this. What if the economy is not going up while you're doing this? The houses will not go up in value. If you would buy a house right now in this pandemic, if anything, it would go down. So what he's saying is possible. You just have to do it at the right time, and um, yeah.
For the last 25 years. So that's the first stream of income that I have. The second stream of income I have is called luxury watch sales. Now, I'm a long time enthusiast of wristwatches. Now, I don't have one on today, but I've been wearing, collecting, selling watches for the last 12 years. And I turned that hobby of mine into a pretty lucrative additional stream of income. And I became good at being able to buy watches at a discounted rate. I would wear those watches, enjoy them, and when it was time for me to sell them, I would put them up for sale on the internet and I would make profit. And that's something, guys, that I've learned to do over 12 years.
I think that's a very good idea, especially if you don't have a corporate six-figure job. Um, that's one way to get started if you know something about the product and you can resell it for a higher price. Um, I think that would be one of the first things to do if you have a low paying job, because that's, you don't have to save up for the down payment or stuff like that. So I think that's a good idea as long as you know the product and you know how to sell stuff on eBay.
I still do it to this day. That's my second additional stream of income. My third stream of income is stock market investing. And I started investing in the stock market about 20 years ago. And I started doing that through my company sponsored 401k plan.
I 100% agree with this. If you don't have your 401k set up, then unless you're self-employed, then the first thing you're doing today is going to your work and setting it up. Especially if they give you a match. Some companies don't even offer a 401k, which in that case you have to start a Roth IRA on your own. And there are tutorials out there online. You can just Google how to open a Roth IRA with Fidelity or something. But I 100% agree, no matter where you are in life, unless you're homeless or I don't know, everyone can do that and it will pay off once you're close to retirement.
Now, I do my own investing. I don't go out and hire a licensed investment advisor. There's nothing wrong with hiring someone to help you do your investing.
Just
But I
invest in
choose to do
index
mine
funds.
on my own. Over the years, I found as long as I stick to the things that I enjoy and that I like and I have knowledge about, I do my research, I've done pretty well over the last 20 years. Now, I invest in the stock market in three different ways. I invest through my company sponsored
Yep.
401k plan, or at least I did over the last 20 years. I also invest in a Roth IRA.
Yep.
So I buy
Smart.
index funds, I buy individual stocks and things like that through a Roth IRA. And I also have a taxable brokerage account where I basically only buy blue chip Fortune 500 type companies, individual stocks.
Um, I think that's pretty realistic to do for the average person as long as you study a little bit. Um, so I wonder why he does that with the brokerage accounts. I wonder if he just does that so he can pull the money out when he wants to if he wants to retire before 59 and a half. I don't know why he's doing that. Um, if you're watching this, Richard, then let me know why you're doing that. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm just wondering why. Yeah, are you like leaving it in there for 20 years in case you want to retire earlier than that, or because there are taxes on that? What I personally do is I swing trade because I don't have $25,000 just for day trading. I don't want to put that kind of money in there. Swing trading is basically day trading, but if you have four or less day trades in within 5 days, your account will stop you from day trading because it will stop you um, because you can only buy stocks with settled cash, and it takes a few days to sell and buy for the cash to settle. So swing traders they don't need $25,000, and they don't and they can still quote unquote day trade, especially if you have different brokerage accounts. But yeah, I kind of do high risk stuff, but I don't. I'm not. I wouldn't advise that for other people. Um, so far, I haven't lost a lot of money. I've made more money than I lost money, but I would not advise that for anyone who's getting into this. First, you need to study a lot before you go into this. I would do what he does. I would not day trade. That's a really fast way to lose a lot of money if you don't know what you're doing. So his advice is very good. If that's what he's doing with if that's like a third retirement plan, quote unquote retirement plan, so he can retire before 59 and a half.
And like I said, guys, I've been doing that for the last 20 years, and it has served me extremely well. Now, my fourth source of income is a relatively new source of income. It's a company I created called RF Financial Consulting. And what I do in that company is I help folks like you put together personal financial plans to help them get to their financial goals. And I do that through financial coaching and mentoring. Now, what I do not do is I don't advise clients on what stocks they need to buy or what stocks they need to pick. What I try and do is help people understand, here's the money you got coming in, here are your expenses, here's
So I like his channel, and he provides a lot of value. And if you have the money to pay him, I think it's $250 an hour, then you can do that. But my honest opinion is that most of the stuff you can research for free on your own on YouTube. Um, but if you have the money and you want to support him, and you want to get faster results because it's individually, it's not just some video that was made for 20,000 people, then you can do that. I provide the same service, so if you need any financial help, I mean, any consulting, not financial, I don't have a license for that, then let me know.
here's what you need to cut out, in my opinion, in order to be able to start saving. And then here's some ways you can create some additional income in order to allow yourself to have enough money to start investing in assets that create more money, like real estate, like stocks, like a business, things of that nature. So that's what I do in that company, and it is doing extremely well. So I'm fortunate to be able to have a background in banking and a background in finance. So I harnessed all of that experience, and I help folks, like I said, just like you, reach their financial goals. The fifth stream of income I have is YouTube. That's right. YouTube is a stream of income for me, guys. And honestly, I stumbled upon YouTube a few years back. And the way I got on YouTube was I wanted to find a way to be able to post content about these cars that I have and cars that I had in the past. And I just wanted to find me a car.
YouTube is a very good way to make a lot of money, especially for young people who are tech savvy, but it's extremely hard to get a YouTube channel off of the ground. That's what I'm trying to do right now, and it's not going anywhere. So, yeah, respect for being able um, to create a successful YouTube channel. Maybe it's because there's really nice cars, and um, a lot of people click on the videos when they see Ferrari. So, but if you're successful at it, you can like start a Shopify store and with your merch, and you're set for life if you have a lot of subscribers. So that's a good idea. Just getting it off of the ground is really hard, extremely hard. So, um, yeah.
Our community where I could actually, you know, communicate with people through video, through chat, things like that about cars. And as I got into the YouTube channel and showing my cars, I would often get questions from you guys about, hey man, what are you doing to be able to afford these types of cars? And for a long time, I was reluctant to share any of that information. You know, I'm a private person. I also was working a corporate job, and I just didn't feel comfortable with my clients knowing all of my, business about my financial situation. So for a while there, I just kind of put it off. But after a while, I decided this would be a good opportunity to start helping people and showing them that they too can reach whatever their financial dreams are. So I started talking about on the YouTube channel about a year ago about the things that I was doing in order to create the lifestyle I wanted, to buy the supercars, do things for my family, and just lead the lifestyle I wanted to lead. Once I started doing that, the channel started exploding, so I
It's
continued to
good.
do it. So those are the 5 streams of income, guys, that have put me in a position to have a six-figure income that replaced my 9 to 5 six-figure income, and it's also allowed me to build my wealth and my net worth over the last 25 years. And one of the things I want you guys to think about is, do you have a plan in place, a financial plan in place to put you on a path where you can reach your financial dreams? And if the answer to that is yes, absolutely great.
Yep.
Good for you. Keep on your path and you will soon get there. And some of you may have already arrived, but there are a lot of you I know because you DM me on Instagram and you drop comments down in the videos that you haven't gotten to that place where you're financially free and you'd like to have someone help you do that. Now, guys, through my company, RF Financial Consulting, I certainly can help you put together a blueprint that if you work that blueprint and you work that plan, you will be able to reach your financial goals, whatever they may be. Now, obviously, all of us have to make sure we keep realistic financial goals. All of
Um, I agree. But especially if you're broke right now, I would not spend $250 um to do what he's like to take us do his consulting, because most of it is free on YouTube. But if you really need help, then I would do his consulting and support him. Um, I don't think there's anything more. He's just wrapping it up here. But yeah. In conclusion, I think he's a good YouTuber. He provides a lot of value on his channel, and he's not trying to rip anyone off. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say.